Peter Pan and Wendy is now the bazillionth iteration of this story made famous by J.M. Barrie back in the day. This version was directed by David Lowery, who has proven many times in the past that he is a very capable director, including in the Disney remake world because he also did Pete's Dragon, which a lot of people consider to be Disney's best remake out of all of them. So here we have a hyper focus on Wendy Darling because her name's in the title with Peter Pan himself. And as per the norm with Peter Pan, she's a young girl looking to avoid boarding school. She meets that boy who refuses to grow up, and her, along with her two little brothers, along with Tinkerbell, travel with Peter to the magical world of Neverland. This engages a swashbuckling adventure where she encounters an evil pirate captain played by the one and only Jude Law. Now, in case you've missed it, I've reviewed that original 1953 classic on the channel. That was closer to January when I did it, and that was one of my favorite Disney movies growing up. Me and my brother would bond so much over that movie. And that original Peter Pan, if not his favorite Disney movie, it's certainly up there. And I have a lot of fun and nostalgia with that movie too. Please do not overlook Hook, because that is just such an underrated gem from Steven Spielberg. And I've said many times that the one thing that I've always enjoyed about Peter Pan was Captain Hook. Dustin Hoffman, I think, is still the definitive Captain Hook in my book just because he's just so freaking outlandish and funny. Jude Law in this movie certainly has that presence, and I love the casting of him in this part. He was a lot more subdued than I would have liked, though, for this role, which for the type of movie that David Lowery was going for, I totally understand why he directed Jude Law to be the way he was. That's another thing I really admire about Peter Pan and Wendy. David Lowery is going for broke on something different. You get through maybe the first 30-45 minutes of the movie, and it follows Peter Pan from 1953 pretty much by the numbers. It's par for the course, with not to mention some pretty horrendous looking CGI for these flying effects, and that really sucks, man. I would have loved to have seen this version of Peter Pan on the big screen, just to see all those flying effects and actually put the budget into the CGI. Because I'll be honest, across the board, CGI really wasn't very good. That is except for one thing, the crocodile. Gigantic ass crocodile, right? It's just the biggest freaking monster you've ever seen in your life. And it's so freaking fun to watch Jude Law tackle this crocodile. And there is some fun slapstick here and there. But then the movie takes a really dark turn around the halfway point. And it's admirable that David Lowery wanted to go in a different direction than usually most other Disney remakes would, just coming across like a same old adaptation. And I'm actually really curious to see if there's a full-on director's cut of this, because that leads me into another huge issue that I had with Peter Pan and Wendy. As much as David Lowery was throwing at this project, as much as he was trying to be different, the final 5 minutes of this movie kind of negate everything he was trying to do. I feel like it's a case of the studio getting their hands dirty and we're like, ha! Just kidding, happy ending, it's Disney after all. And I wasn't as overly mad about this ending as I was with, say, Pinocchio from last year, which was just an abomination of an ending, like, my god. This one I wasn't overly upset about because I was kind of expecting them to reverse the fortune. Because David Lowery was making so many bold choices throughout this whole runtime, and I was like, this is too good to be true. I know what kind of movie this is. And sure enough, the ending comes about and I'm like, yeah, I expected them to do that. But that's honestly my biggest issue. Peter Pan and Wendy is not a horrible Disney live-action remake, just because of everything David Lowery is throwing into this, and the performances also. I mentioned Jude Law being great as he usually is. The young girl that got to play Wendy, please give her more work. She was outstanding in this movie. I think it's a perfect balance of her facing her own maturity while also looking back into the whimsical nature of her childhood, and I think she hits all the nails on the head. They got young Alexander Molony to play Peter Pan, and this version, Peter Pan is a cocky little bastard, as he should be, and I think he was solid as well. I'm certainly looking forward to following his career and his trajectory. Everybody was doing really good. Yara Shahidi plays Tinkerbell, and she is as sassy as you would want a Tinkerbell to be. Like, I really don't have a lot of complaints. The whole creative aspect of Peter Pan and Wendy, I really dug it. I like what David Lowery was doing as a director. I like what all these performers were doing. But I feel like the ending completely shackled any ambition that this movie had. That, coupled with the fact that this is a Disney Plus exclusive and it's not going into theaters, I really question why Disney decided not to put this movie in theaters, just because I'm thinking Peter Pan is a pretty marketable title, don't you think? What, do they think it was too old school? They're putting Snow White in theaters next year. Why not this? Then you probably would have gotten a lot better CGI, and you probably would have gotten a better movie out of it. As it stands though, I'm gonna give Peter Pan and Wendy a B-. Far from the worst live action remake you've seen from this company. But let me know what you thought of Peter Pan and Wendy down in the comments section below. What is your favorite Peter Pan iteration? Is it this one? Is it the original from '53? Is it Hook? Lots that we can discuss and so much more over here on the channel. I love making these videos. Getting to interact with you guys makes it all the more fun for me. So please do consider becoming a subscriber. Y'all are invited to the party. Smash that like button as well. Really helps get this content out there to more people. Guys, y'all are the best. Look forward to more videos very soon. That includes my spoiler-free review of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm also going to be doing a very special Spoiler City video with a special guest that y'all have been requesting to come back. And I got this person. I'll tell you that much. But guys, all kidding aside, y'all are the best. Thank you so much again for continuing to support the channel. And with all that being said, back talk commence.